I think when you have an opportunity to coach in the National Hockey League, there's only 32 jobs in the world, and
in the whole wide world, and that is John Hynes, your new head coach of the Minnesota Wild, as the team introduced him early this morning. He got this gig right after the team canned Dean Evason last night, and Hynes will hardly have time to find his locker because the Wild play the Blues in about an hour. And no matter, coaching is coaching, right? And Hynes has done it in the NHL before with stops in New Jersey, stops in Nashville, and now he's the Wild's 7th head coach and the team's 23-year history. Hynes' own history with this team starts with tonight's game. And while coming in on a losing streak isn't an ideal timeline for the new coach, it's part of a trend that has become unique to the National Hockey League. So tonight, Kent talked to a local hockey legend about this tradition of just recycling NHL coaches in the middle of the season.
If you're wondering why the Minnesota Wild hired a coach who's now about to join his 3rd team in 4 years,
it was time.
Timing does play a role.
It's really tough to get a new coach early in the year that hasn't been a coach in the NHL before.
Lou Nanne knows because he spent 23 years with the North Stars as a player, coach, and general manager. And he says moving on from coaches after a slow start has long been a cold reality.
I'm not blaming anybody. This is pro sports. This happens.
But he says NHL general managers like the Wild's Bill Guerin have been in an even tougher spot in recent years. Because unlike the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball, the NHL has a hard salary cap. And many players with no trade or no movement contracts.
You see a lot more times now where a coach is going to have to be moved rather than a player because it's pretty difficult to move a player unless you're able to work out the salary cap situations between the teams. It's pretty difficult.
So this would be kind of the first best chance to shake things up.
Right, and especially at a high level. Imagine if you had the same teacher for 4 years for all your subjects. You might get tired of hearing that voice. Many of these coaches have been extremely successful, like Dean, for instance. He was up for Coach of the Year here just a few years ago. It's almost like a situation where the players aren't listening to that voice anymore, and you make a change. And if you make a change, that doesn't mean that coach isn't very good anymore because he's proven to be a good coach. But I think that's why you see so much recycling.
It's also worked. Last year's Stanley Cup Finals featured 2 coaches from the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers who had been with other teams the prior year. But recycling coaches can also limit opportunities. A report by The Athletic this spring found that coaches of 14 different teams were on at least their 2nd team, and the Wild now joined 8 others with coaches on their 3rd team.
Is it harder for young coaches to get a shot in the NHL because of the way that this happens, whether it's timing or salary cap?
That's a good question. I think it probably is. And I'm surprised that there are some very quality coaches that are going to be good coaches. It's getting that opportunity. But during the year, it's pretty tough to just pluck someone out of that area and put them in the NHL.
And keep in mind, as the Wild prepare to take the ice against the St. Louis Blues tonight, the last time that team did anything like this, it worked out pretty well.
But St. Louis, when they won the Cup about 5 years ago, they were last in January and went all the way on to win the Cup. So there is an opportunity for the Wild to get up there and make the playoffs by playing the way people expected them to play, and a new voice sometimes helps that.
I'm no hockey expert, but I think Lou Nanne said we might win the Stanley Cup. I think that's what he just said. And you might be wondering what he thinks about the hiring of John Hynes. Well, Kent asked him that question, and Mr. Nanne said he's not going to speculate because it all depends on how well he fits with this specific team right now. Besides, we all start to see for ourselves how he fits in when the puck drops in St. Paul in 21 minutes. Well, from the ice,